This year, the boys have been working hard both in person and remotely at their LAMDA lessons. This evening, we'd like to share with you a selection of pieces from boys from all year groups that they've been preparing for their upcoming examinations. I hope you enjoy.
This is Rehearsal Notes by Lindsay Jones. I play the role of Rumi. Okay, everyone, that's great. Just great. I know it's been a long day, but I have some short notes on today's run to do. So if you could grab a seat and pay attention, I'd appreciate it. Wall. I think that the wall is coming across as a tiny bit flimsy. What? It's heavy. Okay. Props. Is there something we could do to support wall? Mortar. Hilarious. Sensible suggestions at our next practice, please. Titania. Performance a little bit too gritty. Perhaps we can aim for a bit more Queen of the Fairies and a little bit less Hell's Angels. Your father said what? No dear, no motorbikes on set. Think of the risk assessment. And, while on the subject, I know Mama's wardrobe, but a little bit less of the leather waistcoats and tattoos would be appreciated. We aren't at the RSC. Pyramus and Thisbe. I'm loving it. Just keep doing what you are doing. Remember to hold something back for the opening night. You are going to be sensational. Theseus, honestly, it's not as regal as I'd like to see. I know it's hard when you are the youngest, but perhaps we can aim for head of state instead of grumpy toddler, alright? Fairies in general, a bit heavy. You are light, airy, floaty, magical, stiffs. Yes, Peas Blossom. Could one of the adults take Peas Blossom to the toilet, please? Well done. Oh yes. Lysander and Demetrius. Your argument scene is not in the least convincing. Where is the passion, the aggression? Where is the inner turmoil? More believable, more real. Give me humanity, give me contrast. I beg your pardon. Okay, we'll ask Mummy to explain it later then. The mechanicals, yes, that means you over there. We aren't quite getting the subtext and the humour. Can we work on that for next time? And also, be aware of our backs to the audience. I know there isn't one yet, but you'll just have to use your imagination. Moving on. Oberon's crew, can we get some focus in the crowd scenes, please? It's a bit shambolic at the moment. Think of your motivation. Okay, some good work, but still much to do. That's all for now. We'll get there. Thanks for all your efforts, and one final thing. Let's all wish a very happy 9th birthday to our bottom. He is now the oldest cast member. All together. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
This is a scene from The Tempest by William Shakespeare. In this scene, I'm playing the role of Trinculo, who is wandering the island drunk when he comes across Caliban, a beached man-like fish. He is neither bush nor shrub to bear off any weather at all. And another storm brewing, I hear it sing in the wind, yon same black cloud, yon huge one. Looks like a foul one, but that would shed its liquor. If it should thunder as it did before, I know not where to hide my head. Yon same black cloud cannot choose but fall by pale fools. What have we here? A man? Or a fish? Dead or alive? Fish. smells like a fish, a very ancient and fish-like smell. Kind of not of the newest forge on. A strange fish. Well, I in England now, as I once was, but had this fish painted. Not a holiday fool there, but would give a piece of silver. There would this monster make a man. Any strange beast there makes a man. Well, they will not give a dwat to relieve a lame beggar, they will lazy out 10 to see a dead Indian. Legged like a man and fins like arms. Warm on my trough. I do now let loose my opinion, hold it no longer, for this is no fish, but an islander that hath lately suffered by thunderbolt. Ah, alas! The storm must come again. My best way is to creep under his gabardine. There is no other shelter hereabouts. Misery acquaints a man with strange bedfellows. I will here shroud till the days of storm be past.
The Usual Suspect by David Harsland. I'm the demon of the stair. I'm waiting for you here. I know you're on the way because I can smell your fear. I'm the ghoul beneath the bed. I terrify the meek. This is my home. I'm always here, but never when you peek. I'm the figure in the flame, the spectre in the smoke, wind in the chimneys of my voice, although I never spoke. I'm the monster in the cupboard, the face behind the door. The less you try to think of me, I think of you the more. And though you might imagine me as gremlin, imp or elf, the truth is 10 times worse, because I am, of course, yourself.
This is a scene from The Taming of the Shrew by William Shakespeare. I'll be playing the character of Petruchio, and he's describing how he's going to tame his turbulent wife. I did tell thee, Kate. 'Twas burned and dried away, and expressly am forbid to touch it. For it endangers choler, planteth anger, and 'twere better that we did fast. For of ourselves are choleric, than to feed it with such over-roasted flesh. Be patient. Tomorrow it shall be mended. And for tonight, let us fast from company. Come, let me take thee to thy bridal chamber. Thus have I politically begun my reign, and 'tis my hope to end successfully. My falcon now is sharp and passing empty, and until she stoops she must not be full gorged, for then she never looks upon her lure. Another way have I to man my haggard, to make her come and know her keepers cool, that is to watch her. As we watch these kites that bait and beat and will not be obedient. She ate no meat last night, nor none shall eat. Last night she slept not, nor tonight she shall not. As with the meat, some undeserved fault I'll find about. The making of the bed. And here I'll fling her pillow. There the bolster, this way the coverlet, another way the sheets. Aye, or in this hurly I'll intend that all is done in reverent care of her. And in conclusion, she shall watch all night. And if she chance to nod, why, I'll rail. and I'll brawl. And with this clamour, keep us still awake! This is how to kill a wife with kindness. And thus I'll curb her mad and headstrong humour. He that knows better how to tame a shrew, now let him speak. 'Tis a charity to show.
Life is a gift, something that we are all so privileged to have. But what happens when this life is no longer living, rather sub-existing? Imagine waking up from another sleepless night, your body in anguish, your mind in agony, your family at a loss. But there is a solution, a swift, painless, dignifying solution. The problem? It could cost you and your loved ones their life behind bars because they helped you be free of yours. Hi, I'm Arjun, and today I'm going to be convincing you that euthanasia should be made legal in the UK. Under current law, human rights state that we have the right to our choice of our own life. That means that we should be able to choose when to die. However, children are usually subject to the harsh brutality of courts for only enacting the parent's last and dying wish. Only then to be paraded in front of the strangers ready to condemn them. Moreover, the more commonly practiced form of euthanasia is active euthanasia. This is a means of removing the vital form of life support from the patient. This could be food or water, essentially starving a person to death. Insanely, this is legal. However, giving someone a painless injection carries up to 14 years. A painless injection which is dignifying. Who are we to deny them of dignity? Who are we to deny them of compassion? So, what happens as a result of our injustice? Well, firstly, over 1,500 British citizens travel to Switzerland's Dignitas clinics to receive active euthanasia free of prosecution. But what does this journey entail? Well, over 500 miles and 3 hours of travelling may not seem like a lot, but when you've been unable to move for decades, the battle through security, the flight on the plane and the trek to the clinic can become a battle of a lifetime. To become a doctor, one takes the Hippocratic Oath. This states do no harm. However, they are often forced to defy this by inflicting the most torturous forms of harm on their patients via active euthanasia. The days of criminalising passive euthanasia are in the dark ages. That is where they should stay. We should live life to the fullest of its capacity, but not force those unable to do so to continue with their subpar existence. After all, as esteemed Professor of Ethics Anton van Nieck says, euthanasia is to be able to die with dignity when the world is devoid of it. Thank you.
This is a scene from Confusions by Alan Ayckbourn, and I'm playing the character of Arthur. Arthur is sat on a bench next to a young woman called Beryl, who is engrossed in a book. Arthur has trouble with human contact and seeks for someone to listen to him and to talk to. Mind you, I shouldn't be here. I should be at home. That's where I should be, inside my front door. I've got plenty of things I should be doing, the kitchen shelves to name but 3. Only you saw home on a day like today. Sunday. Nothing to do. all on your own, and then you think to yourself, this is not good, this won't get things done, and then there you are talking to yourself again. You know what they say about people that talk to themselves, eh? Eh? Well, yeah. I thought it was outdoors for you, or they'll come take you away. Mind you, I'm a very fulfilled person. I have, for example, one of the largest collections of cigarette packets of anyone alive or dead. That I know of. And you don't get that by sitting on your behind all day. But I'll let you into a secret. Do you know what it is that's the most valuable thing there is you can hope to collect? People. I'm a collector of people. I look at them. I observe them. I hear their manner of speaking. I think, hello, there's another one. Different again, and I'll let you into a secret. They are like fingerprints. They're never quite the same. Some good, some bad. Ooh. Different. But the best of them, and I'm saying this to you quite frankly and openly, the best of them are women. They are better people. They are kind-hearted people, and if I had a choice, I'd be a woman. Now, I expect that makes you laugh, but it's the truth. Most women I would talk to, but men I wouldn't give the time of day to. And I expect that to shock you, but it's the truth. Trouble is, I don't get into contact with them as much as I would wish. My particular line of work doesn't let me speak to them. Which is a pity.
I'm performing a piece from Card Play by David Foxton. I'm playing the part of the Two of Diamonds.
Oh yes, I do that. I reckon your head needs some seeing to. From the inside. Did you hear that? You twos are all the same. Of course we are. What else could we do? You sixes are all the same, and the sevens. It's obvious, isn't it? I'll let you in on a little secret. I'm not the only two on our team, no. There's two of us, just here, on the team sheet, under the hearts. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. The two of hearts. But the manager doesn't like me. Whenever someone needs to be left out, it's always get rid of the two of diamonds. Never the two of hearts, no. I reckon he fancies her, Jack Smart. Jack Smart, our manager. He always picks her. I wouldn't trust him an inch. Sly he is. We have a strong hand, said Smart earlier. How can it be? With her on the team and leaving me out. Hello, boss. What happened, boss? Didn't I say? Didn't I tell you? He always picks her. It's never me. It's unfair, awful, unjust. I wouldn't play for him if he got down on his knees and begged me. If it was the World Cup, I wouldn't play. Never in a month of Sundays. Never in a year of half-day closings. So you can keep your team. Keep them. I don't want any part of it. You can What did you say? Okay. Let's go! Here I come. Here comes the whiz kid.
This is a scene from An Enemy of the People by Henrik Ibsen. In this scene I play Dr. Stockman, the local town's doctor, who is trying to warn the townspeople of the plot by the authorities to poison the local baths. Today I came across a sudden flash of light, a discovery second to none. But before I tell it to you, a little story. I put in a good many years in the north of our country. Up there, the rulers of the world are the great seal and the gigantic squadrons of duck. Man lives on ice, huddled together in little piles of stones. His whole life consists of grubbing for food. Nothing more. He can barely speak his own language. And it came to me one day that it's romantic and sentimental for a man of my nature to be tending these people. They had not yet reached the stage where they needed a doctor. If the truth is to be told, a veterinarian would be more in order. Just because there is a mass of an organism with a human shape does not automatically become a people. That honour has to be earned. Nor does one automatically become a man by having human shape and living in a house and feeding one's face and agreeing with one's neighbours. That name also has to be earned. When I came to my conclusion about the springs, when I became convinced of my theory about the water, the authorities moved in at once, and I thought to myself, I will fight them to the death because, let me finish! I thought to myself, the majority, I have the majority. And let me tell you, friends, it was a grand feeling. Because that's the reason I came back to this place of my birth. Not, as my brother says, so that fine carriages could crowd our streets, but so that we might cure the sick, so that we might learn from them and become broader and more civilized. In other words, more like men, more like a people. I am a revolutionist. I am in revolt against the age-old lie that the majority is always right. Was the majority right while they stood by while Jesus was being crucified? Was the majority right when they refused to believe the earth moved around the sun and let Galileo be driven to his knees like a dog? It takes 50 years for the majority to be right. The majority is never right until it does right.
Hi, my name is Thomas, and thank you for welcoming me to your Key Stage 4 assembly. Today, I'll be telling you about what I think is the greatest film franchise of all time, Star Wars. Now look, I know you might think sci-fi is stupid, and why is there a glowing stick that can cut people in half? But before you think I'm some idiot who lives on Tatooine, allow me to enlighten you on why this really is the best franchise. Star Wars has had a large success over the almost 50 years it has been running. The first film, which released in 1977, won 6 Oscars, ranging from costume design to music, best effects, and best film editing. It also won 3 Grammys for the music and was nominated for Album of the Year. The most recent installment, The Rise of Skywalker, was nominated for 3 Oscars and 3 BAFTAs. And look, if you don't believe me, here are some famous people who love Star Wars. Benedict Cumberbatch, yes, Sherlock himself, who'd been on many late night shows and said how much he loved the saga. He was left speechless when Star Wars actor Harrison Ford said how much he loved Sherlock. Okay, maybe you don't like Benedict Cumberbatch. What about Ariana Grande, you know, the singer who everyone loves? She commented on one of the most hotly debated topics in Star Wars. Who shot first, Han Solo or Greedo? She said, oh God, you're both wrong. Han didn't shoot first because Greedo never fired off a shot in the first place. Han shot, Greedo died. End of story. Another famous actor who loves Star Wars is Harry Potter. Yes, Daniel Radcliffe. He said he crashed the set of Episode 7, The Force Awakens, and dressed up as bounty hunter Boba Fett on an episode of The Ellen Show. Star Wars has also had a large cultural impact. One of the most iconic villains of all time. Darth Vader. One of the most iconic props of all time, the lightsaber, and the Millennium Falcon, which made the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs. Many games also sprang from the franchise, with 4 Battlefront games being made and many more. If you like the movies, there are also books and comics that you can read that will make you love the franchise even more. My favourite piece of Star Wars merchandise is the Lego. It is great for all ages, and the satisfaction you get when you complete a new set is unmatched. I'd like to thank you all for listening to me today, and I hope you all go home and watch Star Wars. And if you do, I'd recommend starting with Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and working it through in chronological order. I hope you all go home and watch Star Wars. I've been Thomas, may the Force be with you.
This is a scene from Things I Know to Be True by Andrew Bovell. In the scene I'm playing Mark Price, who is recounting the time he left his family to go to Sydney for gender reassignment surgery. I hear the sound of the horn and I know it's time to go. Wish it was a taxi. All the goodbyes were over, but Dad has insisted on taking me to the airport. Rosie comes too, of course. She's at the wheel and Dad's in the front passenger seat, so I sit in the back, which makes me feel like a kid again, and I hate that. And I'm just sat there thinking just how ugly and how boring the road to the airport is. Mum's not with us. She's at work. Our farewell was brief and hard, but I think one day she'll soften. One day things are going to be okay with her. One day she may even get to know her. I want them to drop me off at the airport and just keep going, but airport farewells, they're this big deal for Dad, and he insists on taking me through security to the gate. How a man can have so much metal on his person, it's a mystery to me. But given that my time as a man is finite, I suppose it's not a mystery I need to give much further thought to. At the gate, I tell Dad I'll be home soon to visit, and he tells me that he'll come and see me in Sydney as soon as I'm settled in. Both of us know that neither of these things are going to happen. But pretending makes it easier. And then does something that takes my breath away. Kisses me on the lips. And it is so intimate. Nearly does me in, and I've never loved him more. And I look back from the gate and he's weeping. I mean, he's broken. And Rosie's holding him. Rosie has him. And I know that I have to keep walking. I have to keep moving forward because my father's grief, it's a price I'm willing to pay. The plane turns onto the runway. And as it makes its ascent, I look down on the city where I grew up, and I steel myself against the memories, against history, and against the man I used to be. Because by the time we land in Sydney, Mark Price will just be someone I used to know.